Arabia and Pakistan signed a landmark mutual defense pact in Riyadh, formalizing a commitment where any aggression against one nation is treated as an attack on both. Signed by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, with Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir in attendance, the agreement emphasizes joint deterrence, enhanced security cooperation, and contributions to regional and global peace. This pact builds on decades of close military ties between the two countries, rooted in shared Islamic heritage, strategic interests, and mutual support against REG. The defense relationship between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan dates back to the 1960s, evolving from ad hoc support to structured alliances amid geopolitical shifts in the Middle East and South Asia. 1960s origins. Cooperation began in response to Egypt's military intervention in Yemen, which alarmed Saudi leaders. In 1967, during Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz's visit Anne, a formal security arrangement was established, leading to the deployment of Pakistani military and Air Force officers to Saudi Arabia that year. 1980s, deepening ties. The 1979 Iranian Revolution heightened Saudi concerns about regional instability, prompting a new defense protocol in 1982. Under this, Pakistan deployed a full division of troops to Saudi Arabia, which remained until 1987. This marked one of the earliest instances of large-scale Pakistani military assistance to a Gulf ally. 1990s and Gulf War era. Pakistan maintained a continuous military presence in Saudi Arabia starting before the 1990 Gulf War, with troop numbers fluctuating based on needs. This period saw the launch of joint naval exercises like Nasim al-Bahr in 1993, focused on maritime threats. 2000s. Renewals and training. A 2005 military cooperation agreement renewed ties, enabling thousands of Saudi cadets to train in Pakistan. Broader joint exercises under the Al-Samsam banner began, with the 8th iteration in 2022. Specialized drills followed, including Al-Sakur for pilots, Al-Shahab and Al-Batar for special forces, Al-Qasar for IED handling, recently held, and mechanized training exercises. Ongoing mechanisms. Annual forums like the Pakistan KSA Defense Collaboration and Bilateral Defense Industrial Forum coordinate efforts, fostering defense industry ties and technology sharing. This history reflects Pakistan's role as a reliable security exporter to Gulf states, often providing troops, training, and expertise in exchange for economic aid and diplomatic support. Reasons for the 2025 Pact. The pact institutionalizes long-standing ties amid evolving regional dynamics, historic and strategic alignment. Both nations cite their historic partnership and shared interests in countering threats like extremism, Iranian influence, and instability in Yemen and Afghanistan. Pakistan's nuclear capabilities and battle-hardened forces complement Saudi Arabia's financial and logistical strengths. Regional tensions. Signed shortly after Israel's September 9, 2025, airstrike in Qatar's capital, killing 6 during Hamas ceasefire talks. The pact addresses Gulf states' fears of unchecked Israeli actions and broader escalations involving Iran. It responds to Saudi Arabia's rebuff by the US, which conditioned defense pacts on normalization with Israel. Diversifying alliances. Gulf monarchies, traditional US allies, are seeking alternatives as Washington prioritizes Asia-Pacific rivalries and domestic politics erode reliability. The pact signals Saudi Arabia's push for self-reliance in security. Public discourse on X highlights optimism about a Muslim military alliance or Islamic NATO, with users viewing it as a practical step beyond verbal condemnations in forums like the OIC. Implications. The agreement has far-reaching strategic, diplomatic, and economic ramifications, potentially reshaping alliances in a volatile region. Strategic shift. As a NATO-like pact involving a nuclear-armed Pakistan, it alters the Middle East-South Asia balance. It deters aggression, e.g., against Saudi oil facilities or Pakistani borders, through all military means, though nuclear specifics remain vague. Analysts call it a game-changer, reducing US leverage while stabilizing ties between Gulf states and Pakistan. For rivals like India, Pakistan's neighbor, and Israel, Saudi Arabia's de facto foe, it's a warning. Potential joint responses could escalate conflicts, such as border skirmishes or strikes on Gulf assets. Saudi Arabia assures balanced ties with India, but the pact amplifies Pakistan's deterrence. On X, Indian users expressed sarcasm or concern, while Pakistanis celebrate it as a shield against Delhi. Broader alliances and stability. It could foster a Gulf-Pakistan bloc, encouraging similar pacts, for example with Turkey or Egypt, and joint operations against Yemen's Houthis or ISIS remnants. Economically, expect Saudi investments in Pakistani defense tech and remittances from 2.5 million workers, boosting Islamabad's economy amid IMF pressures. The US and Israel may view it as a setback to normalization efforts, while China, Pakistan's ally, and Russia gain indirect influence. Overall, it's seen as positive for stability, promoting deterrence over confrontation. This pact underscores a multipolar world where traditional guarantors like the US face competition from pragmatic, faith-based alliances.